Hey, we're here at JC's Comics and More, your pop culture superstore. That is 6725 West Central Avenue. That is Toledo, Ohio, 43617 419 531 6097. Just about finished putting these comics in order. I have them in alphabetical and have to put them in numerical order. Finished doing that. The Spider-Mans are the Amazing Spider-Mans are like the final ones, and there's stuff that has been priced up as people have been coming and asking about the comics and what the price of this comic or that comic is, and some people have been certainly buying said comics, and people have been passing up, but a lot of people have been buying what I've priced up for them and been very, very happy. But the last of the Amazings, I've got a stack right there that needs to be priced up. My Fantastic Fours are all ready to be priced up. Got some Teen Titans. Some Teen Titans have sold already. I think a 42 and 43 sold. And I've got those Spider-Mans to put into that stack. And then we've got these comics here that have these sticky bags. Back in the day, comic bags weren't really around yet. Back in the 60s. So what a lot of people did was they took produce bags, and then over time, those bags got sticky and just really hard to deal with. Now there is a bag in here. Once I get around to it, I'll show everybody that bag. I'll be keeping that bag. That bag actually has some historical, very historical for the comics industry. But let's start debagging the rest of these Spider-Mans right now. Again, they're very tacky. Got a number 74 here with Silvermane. The Lizard makes an appearance. We got great John Buscema artwork. John Romita did, I believe, the layouts. I think even Don Heck was involved with these here. And it had the tablet that the Kingpin was after. And Silvermane, without giving away too much, the next issue, this issue here, Death Without Warning. It makes him Silvermane younger, but he eventually turns into a child and once again just becomes a protoplasm back from where he came from. So we'll say debag these, yeah. Stan Lee, John Romita, Jim Mooney did those. Copy I got when I was a kid. It was a coverless copy. It was many, many years before I had an actual copy with the cover. You got Man Marco in there. Classic. This is classic Spider-Man stuff. You got Martha and Billy, who was Kurt Connor's kids. He drinks it. Harry had a Fu Manchu at that time. And there he is. There's Silvermane. You're still alive, but you're not the same. You're younger, stronger. Of course I am. That was the purpose. That was the plan. I gambled everything on being right about the tablet's secret. The only secret that could save me. The secret of the Fountain of Youth. Spidey slams in action as death strikes again. See if there's anybody famous with these letters pages. Does not appear to be on this one here. I've seen some letters pages that Dave Cockrum, Marvin Wolfman, Ann Nichols, which later became Ann Nesenti. She wrote under Ann Nichols, I believe, when with Art Adams on the long shot, the very first long shot, his first appearance. Mike W. Barr, he was even signed Mike W. Barr. Don and Maggie Thompson, who started the Comics Buyer's Guide. And here you've got this issue here. Got, again, John Romita, Jim Mooney. You've got Silvermane. He's getting younger. He's getting younger, and then finally, away, he just disappeared to nothing. But there you got the lizard. The lizard lives. They brought the lizard back. First time he has been back since issue 44 and 45. Or was it 45 and 46? 44 and 45. Let's see. 44 and 45. 46 was the first appearance of the Shocker. And I'm not sure if I've got a 44 in here now. I've got a 45 there. Those are the first two Spider-Man comics I ever owned. And again, these bags are just tacky. Luckily for me, as far as the collection went, the Spider-Mans were about the only ones that were in these bags. Lizard lives. There's got Big John Buscema and Jim Mooney. John Romita didn't have much to do with this stuff. You can certainly see Big John's influence. And here we've got loose centerfold. That's why we check these. So I'll have to indicate this has a loose centerfold when I bag that comic up. It's a comic I had when I was a kid. I still have my copy. I used to read the hell out of that whenever I could get a chance. When I was at my grandparents' house. So great. The Lizard, the Human Torch, Spidey. Oh, just classic stuff. Covered by Romita, John Buscema, Jim Mooney. Check the letters page on this one here. And again, no one that would recognize that works in the industry today. Got the first appearance of the Prowler. This, I believe, was Marvel's second black superhero that they created. He doesn't get the love that the Black Panther gets. Unfortunately, you know, everybody remembers who the first is. Nobody remembers who the second. But started off as a villain, and then sort of met Spidey, and Spidey helped turn things around. Let's see, this was John Buscema and Jim Mooney also, but the Prowler was created by John Romita Sr. and Jr. There he is, first appearance of the Prowler. And unfortunately, the second appearance of the Prowler has this cover is ripped off. So very possible he may have bought this. How I got a lot of books back then, the coverless books would come in packets of like 3 or 5 or 10 or something. You just never knew what you got. So it's very possible that's where this one came. Or he may have had it, and maybe he had 2 sons that they maybe the cover got tore off. But that's a real shame with that one there. So number 92 with the Iceman. That's got Gil Kane artwork. The number 90 has sold already. The death of Captain Stacy. So that's to a good friend of mine. I've been looking for that for a while, and he is very, very pleased. Very pleased to get that. Gil Kane and John Romita. About a corrupt politician. Imagine that. Corrupt politicians. Here we've got the third appearance of the Prowler. So the Prowler came back pretty quickly, and after this here, we didn't see the Prowler for, gosh, for well over a decade or more. It was quite a while. I don't know if Marvel just didn't know what to do with him, or if he just didn't seem to be popular enough. I mean, I liked the character. I didn't get a chance to see the original issues. I think in Marvel Tales, the Spider-Man reprint book, that's where I first became aware of the Prowler. Again, check the letters page. And there's a Todd Blake from Detroit, but not anyone that I know. And this is the issue that Gwen Stacy left and went to London. So she was written out of the book momentarily for a little while. Issue number 94, issue I had as a kid. First time I found out about Spidey's origin was in this issue here. That was a big moment in my comic book collecting or my comic book reading life, especially with Spider-Man. Finally got to find out how he became Spider-Man and the death of his Uncle Ben and everything that was involved with that. This issue's not too bad. It's not, certainly not meant or very fine by any way, shape, or form. Great pinup shot there by Romita Sr. Got the burglar. Show him get bit by the spider and his going through that. John Romita and Sal Buscema was involved with this here. Are you all set there?
Yes, sir.
All right. We'll pause this while I go help check a customer out, and we'll be back. Okay, we're back. In issue number 95, Spidey decides to, or Peter Parker decides to go to London to look up Gwen. She's there living with her uncle, which was her father's brother. And of course, while he's there, some stuff goes down, life gets real, and he has to become Spider-Man. And once he becomes Spider-Man, he realizes he cannot look up Gwen because Gwen would put two and two together, and she blames Spider-Man for the death of her father. But this is another John Romita and Sal Buscema issue. There's terrorists in this issue, and that's what it mainly dealt with. Got some of the bobbies, Gwen looks out the window, just happens to look at and sees him, Spider-Man, swinging by. First he killed my father, now he's traveled all the way across the ocean after me. Gwen, Arthur, it's Arthur Stacy. Isn't she sound like Spider-Man? Isn't he's the one she blamed for poor George's death? Yeah, of course there are more trouble going on that Spidey puts an end to. He has to find out that Big Ben that there's a plot and there's he saved some kidnappers, but he's all over the papers. Everything for once everything worked out swell. The hostages are safe. I got my news picks, and nothing can keep me from Gwendy. Her uncle's name is Arthur, so I'll go through every Stacy in the phone book until, oh no, the one thing I didn't think of. Now, all England knows that Spider-Man is here. How can Peter Parker go visit Gwen? She'll be certain to suspect. She'll put two and two together in a minute. Whatever wherever Peter Parker goes, Spider-Man appears. I don't dare chance it. Once again, even when I win, I lose. But this time I'm losing Gwen. Why does it always happen? Why? Why? Gwendolyn, come here, my dear. Quickly, look at this. You weren't dreaming. You didn't imagine him. Spider-Man is in London. You must have really seen him. But according to this newscast, he seems a decent sort. I'd venture to say the chap's a bloomin' hero. Perhaps you were too quick to condemn him, child. After all, you were under a great strain with poor George's death. You may have done him an injustice. It all comes back to me now. Even Father used to say he didn't think Spider-Man was really bad. I'm so mixed up. If only Peter were here. I hoped and prayed he'd love me enough to come after me. But I guess I was wrong about many things. While in the street below, a forlorn figure trudges towards the airport and a dismayed journey home. Maybe it's best this way. She never even wrote. She's probably forgotten about me. And then next issue, The Green Goblin. Again, looking at the letters pages, you don't see anything. They've got a statement of circulation, and you can't really see it, but 596,102 copies. Total distribution, paid distribution, 322,195. That's how many copies was sold, not of this issue, but 322,000 plus copies. Comic books today are lucky if they sell 30,000 copies. 30,000 copies. Once back in the day, well over 300,000 copies. Let that sink in. Now, we've got one of the more famous issues from The Amazing Spider-Man to be printed in the 70s. This issue here had the Return of the Green Goblin. Gil Kane did the artwork. But more importantly, there's something missing on this cover. If you look, something missing on this cover that this cover has. And this cover has. And even this cover has. The Comics Code Authority stamp was not on this cover. When this came out, the Comics Code Authority, because this had to do with drug abuse, because Harry, there's a guy that he was on pills, and because it had that issue of it, the Comics Code Authority would not approve issue 96, 97, or 98. Marvel made a bold move. They could have said, well, we can't publish that story. We can't go against the Comics Code Authority. But they did. They went against the Comics Code Authority. They didn't stub their nose at them, but they knew it was too important in the story not to tell. So those 3 issues there were printed without the Comics Code Authority stamp. Very groundbreaking issues. It made all national news back then. And then DC did a similar story soon after that, where Spidey, Green Lantern's ward, his sidekick, was doing heroin. However, at that time, the Comics Code Authority stamp was put on there, because at that point, the Comics Code Authority decided that they were wrong, and an issue like that is not glamorizing drugs. It's not, saying, hey, cool, it's, go shoot up, go chase a dragon. That it was a good message, and they approved that. But Marvel was the first one to do it, and Stan Lee, again, kudos to him and the company backing him, because again, the company could have said, no, Stan, you're going to have to rewrite that story. But when I was a kid, I had those issues, and to be quite honest, myself nor my parents even noticed that the Comics Code Authority was not on there. Harry's right there. He's being taken to the hospital. He's came out of it, but he had a relapse later during the issues 121 and 122 with the death of Gwen Stacy and the death of the Goblin. And it leads us to issue 99. This is a standalone issue. Most of the issues were standalone. Every once in a while you'd get 3-parters like the death, like the drug issues, but for the most part they were standalone issues. This one here deals with the prison break. I believe Johnny Carson makes an appearance in this issue as well. Another Gil Kane story. Gwen Stacy came back at the end of this issue also. She just couldn't stay away. It's like, who says we never give Spidey a happy ending? A rare happy ending for Spider-Man. But you've got Johnny Carson there. That's who that's supposed to be. Yes, he could be another Zsa Zsa Gabor. And during the filming, there you got Ed McMahon. And Spidey comes in. As he comes in, he's talking about some of the stuff that he does. However, the police show up, and Spidey has to get out of there. So it brings us to issue 100, the all-important issue 100. You got this great John Romita cover. You got his villains and his family and his allies on the front there. I remember getting this copy. Got this copy in Walbridge, Ohio, and a little carry-out that was next to this bar, next to the bar that my dad used to go to all the time. And remember getting this issue, seeing this issue, and getting it, and just being so excited because this is Amazing Spider-Man 100. Despite what Marvel says or the companies these days, that high number was, I wasn't scared off. To me, this was the greatest issue ever. This is issue 100. 100 issues of the Amazing Spider-Man. Gil Kane, Frank Giacola. You've got some of the letters from issue 96. You took a stand. I want to commend you and publisher Goodman for your boldness and plain guts. Drug abuse has to be fought. It's terrible that the Comics Code Authority wants you to close your eyes and pretend it's not there. Can't comics help their readers if possible, besides entertaining them? This is the first time I've seen any company put their magazine in jeopardy rather than cut out something which felt right and was needed. Face front, everybody. Marvel Comics has. Spidey is a different hero, so one must not hold back a new and different idea. And as I see it, if your message reaches at least one person in need, all the effort you have put forth is well worth it. Just amazing. And then this issue here again. As I'm reading this as a kid, it's just there's a dream. He sees Captain Stacy, and then I turn the page, and Spidey's got 6 arms. Holy crap! How's that going to work out? We did sell the 101 that sold, so unfortunately I can't show you the repercussions of that. And then as the first appearance of Morbius and the Lizards, Kurt Connors shows up, and Spidey needs to go someplace and try to figure out how to get rid of his 6 arms and what he's going to do. Got issue number 80 here with the Chameleon. This is another issue I had as a kid. I still have my copy. Issue 81, The Coming of the Kangaroo. This is probably the first Australian, character. I'd say hero, but he was a villain. But this is the first Australian character that they probably, ever did in comics. Marvel certainly, they certainly were a forerunner in ideas or first. The first black superhero with Black Panther, the drug stories, Gwen Stacy being killed. That was, a death of a major character. And other companies followed. It's like whatever Marvel was doing, other companies looked, and we need to do that. Issue 82 had this as a kid also. It was the first time I was introduced to Electro, and I just fell in love with the character. The Schemer, which we're not sure who the Schemer is, ended up being the Kingpin's son was in disguise as a schemer. So that was a plot twist and also brought back the Kingpin. He was a very popular character as far as a Spidey villain, and he made many returns since issue 50 when he first showed up. Kingpin takes over. Kingpin strikes back. Got the great John Romita, and I think Jim Mooney did work in these as well. May even had, like I said, Don Heck may have done some work in these. You know, back when Don Heck was, people really appreciated his work. But John Romita, John Buscema, Jim Mooney. Get towards the end here of this sticky bag set. Again, sticky bags, sticky and tacky. Once I'm done with these, I'm going to have to go wash my hands off and get that stickiness off of it. Look, that's how sticky these bags are. His wife Vanessa was introduced in this storyline, and get art Romita, Buscema, and Madman Mooney. Everybody had to have a nickname. And this issue here, that if you look at the cover, Spidey unmasked at last, and he did. He shows up at a party, has the mask in his hand, and you know, I had to tell you, can't keep it a secret anymore. Spider-Man is finished. His career has ended. I'm the only one that could know that because I'm Spider-Man. That goes back to issue 12 when he was unmasked, and they think that Pete's just sick and he's just delusional, and they don't take him serious at all. So luckily for him, they just thought, Pete's he's a lot of stress with Aunt May being sick and this here and that there, and he's not Spider-Man, not Peter Parker. Because look at him, how could Peter Parker be Spider-Man? You know, and I'm sure when that issue came out, that people freaked out. Again, Marvel took lots of chances, and they weren't afraid to push the issue. You know, issue 88, the return of Doc Ock, John Romita, Jim Mooney. Issue 89, I sold issue 90. Like I said, sold to a friend of mine. I believe this has Gil Kane artwork. I think this is the first time Gil Kane came onto the scene of Spider-Man. That it's really worked out well for Gil. That he became a very recognizable artist for the Wall Crawler. But yeah, Gil Kane, John Romita, Doc Ock lives, and then you got the next issue, and Death Does Come. Again, killing off the Stacys. Issue 91, the issue after the death of Captain Stacy. Spider-Man is held responsible. Spider-Man is always held responsible. The poor guy just can't catch a break. And he's being put to rest. Again, Gil Kane. Spider-Man, I'll hate him forever. Whether it's meant to be or not, he killed my father. He killed my